With that being said, Steve, let's dig into the last team we're going to talk about here at the Pac-12 preview, and that's our sleeper pick. And this is truly a sleeper. I know some of the sleeper picks that we've given you in our past previews may have still been in the AP Top 25, may have not been considered a sleeper, but to us, we do. This one's a sleeper. This one truly is, and that's the Colorado Buffaloes. We've seen in some other, media and some other preseason polls that they have them as low as 10th, finishing the Pac-12, as high as 6th. I think is the best. I think maybe I saw 1/5. This is a team that I think could really shock some people. I mean, Tad Boyle has done a really good job with this team. I think they can really shock some people. Their schedule is, in my mind, I think it is very in their favor. And I think that helps out a lot as well. I'm gonna let you dig into the specifics, and we'll talk about their schedule after. So take me through, because I know you're with me on this one. We discuss it when we talk about the preview. We agree on a sleeper together. So talk to me why you think Colorado is a sleeper in the Pac-12.
Well, first of all, you have to remember they finished 4th in the regular season in the Pac-12 last year. Again, I mean, they earned that, but I mean, a lot of things had to happen for that to happen. So really, to say Colorado is a sleeper, I mean, there's enough pieces that are going to be coming back. Maybe that you really shouldn't totally sleep on Colorado. They're bringing in 2 grad transfers from the Ivy League. Now, Colorado's not an Ivy League school, but with Gabadon from Yale and my guy Ethan Wright from Princeton, every time he had the ball in his hand, I would yell at my TV, shoot, because I just wanted him to take every time he had a shot, take it. I don't care how many you miss. He's just that kind. When he gets on a roll, he can carry a team, and he's exciting. But again, Ivy League is not the Pac-12, but these are guys that have already put 4 years into a program. That experience, especially early on, emanates throughout the roster. And you've heard that common thread throughout this preview, where the veteran returning players, Ellis was probably the one that I gushed about the most, makes a big difference. That calming influence. Even when the younger players make mistakes, you can say, hey, okay, you see what happened there? Yes. Or if they don't, you playfully shake them and say, hey, can't do that. Don't pick up that dumb foul. Don't force the shot. You pull up. You need to have that kind of veteran presence there. If they're going to go anywhere, though, it's going to be with defense. Colorado plays a totally different style of play than most teams do in the Pac-12. They are really reliant on shutdown defense, and they can't have any off nights, from a defensive standpoint. Otherwise, they'll be out of the conversation, not only for an NCAA tournament, but being at least in the upper echelon. That's where I can see where teams are saying, there's too much offensive talent in this conference now. Colorado can't get by on defense. Yeah, they can, because they proved it last year that they could. And it's almost like the tides are reversed. It's not like, well, Colorado's a football school now. Most recently, Colorado's been a better basketball program. And it's still a destination. They have a great coach. I think Colorado is going to be fun. That's why I was so excited we picked them as the sleeper, because they're going to be so fascinating to watch, to see, can they get the absolute maximum out of everybody on their roster? And that's what they really have to do. But I think Boyle's the kind of coach that can get that done.
Yeah, I mean, 21-win team last year, took them to the NIT. They lost to St. Bonaventure in the NIT playoffs there. This is a team that I can see getting right back to a 21-win team, a 12-win conference win. I can see that happening. And I really like their schedule. I think their schedule sets them up for success. They look great in November, with the exception of having to play Tennessee. I think is going to be a really tough game for them. But they don't really have to have a big competition until towards the end of the year when they play Stanford. But the teams like, UCLA, we don't see them play UCLA until middle of January, and then end of February. We don't see them play Arizona until end of February. So, I mean, they're set up in my mind for get things figured out and start making that run. And if they can find a way to beat a USC, beat a UCLA towards the end of the season before the tournament primes up, they could be one of those sleeper shocker teams that could find their way into the Pac-12 championship game and maybe not just find themselves as a at-large bid of one of maybe the first four. I think that if they don't win the Pac-12, I think they're going to be a bubble team, but that's still good. That's still a really good spot, especially if you have some people predicting them to be 10th in the Pac-12. If you can find a way to get yourself into the first four or battle yourself to win the Pac-12 championship and make yourself an automatic bid, then that's one hell of a season. And I think that's absolutely doable for this Colorado team.
Yeah, they are undersized. I mean, they do have some younger guys that potentially could develop, but Colorado's going to have to force turnovers. They're going to have to just be relentless on the defensive end. They're going to have to get the more talented players in foul trouble by playing different defensive schemes and just being in their face all the time. That's going to buy them opportunities. So I think that's really where Colorado, if you put Colorado in the West Coast Conference, I think they would seriously compete with Gonzaga. I honestly believe that only record-wise because of the quality of the teams in the WCC. You've got maybe three teams that are, decent. You got Gonzaga, you have St. Mary's, you have San Francisco. But Colorado just has to find a way with the talent that they have. It doesn't mean that down the road they won't get more 3 and 4 and 5-star recruits. But for right now, with the roster they have, they've got to play defense. They have to get teams out of their rhythm. And sometimes when you have athletic programs like you see scattered throughout the Pac-12, if you force them to play a game they're not used to playing, that's where opportunities for wins can come about.